Welcome back to the UCTV MLB preview show. Today we'll be previewing the New York Yankees. We'll start with some of their key losses from last season. Those include players like Frankie Montas, Luis Severino, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Michael King, I would say would be the most notable.
Yeah, they didn't lose a whole lot of meat on these bones. I mean, they got Sevy, obviously that hurts because he's been a Yankee for a while, but his injuries that probably makes it a little easier. Wandy Peralta, great out of the bullpen. I think he might still be a free agent, so don't totally cancel that out, but I could be wrong with that. Uh, but yeah, they didn't lose a whole lot. Like IKF, good defensive player, but very replaceable. So, the only one I'd say that hurts pretty bad is King, but considering what you got back from him, you can't be mad as a Yankee fan.
They definitely lost, you know, some pieces you're used to seeing. It'll definitely be a new look Yankee team, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially when you dive into some of their additions, which include Marcus Stroman, Trent Grisham, Alex Verdugo, and then obviously Juan Soto. Your thoughts?
Beautiful additions. Verdugo, had the falling out with the Red Sox with Cora and all that going on. But he's a good hitter. I mean, not great, but he'll do well. I like that move. Stroman, I love that move for the Yankees. They needed a solid guy. He's has a proven track record. I'm sure the Boombox Yankee Stadium will not kill him too bad. He's been in New York before with the Mets, so the media, I mean, we know how he is on social media and everything, but I think the Yankees might be a little more on top of that personally. Um, but Juan Soto, oh my God, what a move. Anytime you get Juan Soto on your team, you're ready to get an A plus from me for the offseason, especially considering what they gave up.
Well, the reason why they didn't have to give up that much is Juan Soto is a free agent at the end of the season, will likely command close to, if not over, $500 million. I think that might be the starting point.
Yeah, I think it low key might
So
have closer to six.
so you know, 1 year rental maybe, but it's the best possible rental you could have.
Sure.
And the hope would be that you could possibly resign him. We'll now look at their starting lineup, projected starting lineup. It reads DJ LeMahieu at third, Juan Soto in right, Aaron Judge in center field, Anthony Rizzo at first, Gleyber Torres at second, Alex Verdugo in left, Giancarlo Stanton at DH, Anthony Volpe at shortstop, and Austin Wells at catcher.
I
Your
like
thoughts?
I like a lot. DJ LeMahieu, you know, been trending downwards a little
Had a
bit.
good year last year.
You'll take the 15 homers you got from him. He only hit a 243, which is not very DJ LeMahieu like considering he won a batting title with the Yankees and also with the Rockies. Love that he's won in both leagues. Juan Soto, we're gonna get absolute dog, top five, maybe even better hitter in the league. Aaron Judge, not really much to say about this dude that hasn't been said. Mashes, he's gonna do it all. Only thing, will he stay healthy? Came out earlier this offseason that he said he thinks that toe injury is going to linger the rest of his career, but you could only hope that that'll be mean like maybe 5 games missed from that a year. But with him in center field, hopefully he's less likely to run into walls and get hurt in corner walls and stuff like that. But it's Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, 2-3. That's got to be the best 2-3 in a lineup. It is the best 2-3 in a lineup. There's no question about it. Anthony Rizzo, I love him on the Yankees. Granted, last year he took a little dip from the concussion thing. A little funny how it took that long to figure it out, but I think he'll bounce back. Gleyber Torres, this is the guy you thought you were going to have from him, especially in what 2017, 2018, when he basically had a very similar style line. There's 25 bombs, 273. You'll love to see that. Verdugo. I think his power number could go up a little bit, but yet again, he's come from Boston, which also is pretty small. Uh, Giancarlo, I'm probably the biggest Giancarlo Stanton supporter in the world. I love this dude. He mashes, and I love when a player can just mash homers. We played what, like 100 games last year, 120, hit 24 homers. So I think you could expect 30 bombs from him at least. And he looks like he put in the work in the offseason because he's looking good in these pictures. Volpe, defensive god we saw last year. You gotta hope he can pick it up a little bit on the offensive side a little bit more, at least average wise. 20 bombs, can't complain about that at all. And then Austin Wells, he's a catcher. He's gonna give you catcher numbers. He's nothing special out there.
The Yankees' number 2 prospect in the org, and 47th overall.
Will Wells?
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, then what last year was
He's expected to platoon with Trevino, righty lefty.
so that's nice to have.
Verdugo is expected to platoon with Trent Grisham, who's also picked up in the Juan Soto trade. Um,
I don't like that personally. I think you start Verdugo over him and maybe sub him out late game if you're up.
well,
Because
Grisham's a S plus plus in the field.
yeah, and Verdugo is
Not a bad guy to have on the bench.
yeah, great guy to have on the bench.
They have double Oswald on the bench. The Yankees' objective should be clear. They were second to last in batting average as a team last year.
Yeah,
Granted, they're playing. It was a revolving door of like Willie Calhoun and like Jake Bowers,
they got bit up by
just
the injury bug.
random people. Um, improve contact. Power is there.
Oh, for sure.
The on base percentage is there in the middle,
Hmm.
right? Uh, this should be a lineup that's feared. But if they take the same approach that they had last year, it won't be.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
but
oh
you drop in Juan Soto, and that might fix a few things.
yeah, I mean he's gonna give you that average that you said they're gonna need. I think LeMahieu will come back a little bit on the average. Stanton, I don't really think he get much worse than a buck 91, and I feel the same for Volpe at
But
209.
this has to be Stanton's last prove it year for the Yankees, right? I know he hits home runs. The power will never leave, but can he hit for average? Can he
No,
get on base?
uh,
Hopefully, he's faster. We'll
yeah, I
see.
don't got that one.
We'll look now at the Yankees rotation. Their starting rotation reads Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman, Clark Schmidt, and Nestor Cortez. Um, you know, the the theme here to me is Garrett Cole, Cy Young, reigning Cy Young, beast, not gonna stop. And then some question marks, right? You paid Rodon to be a Cy Young, and he got blown up last year. You thought he could end the year maybe on a nice note in that last start of his. Blown up, blown up, right? Has to be a different approach. Um, Stroman needs to stay, steady. It's a miracle he's even on the Yankees after all the beef. Schmidt hasn't, fully figured it out at the MLB level yet, as consistent on a consistent basis. And every year I wait for Nestor Cortez for people to figure him out. Maybe I'm wrong. That his style of pitching is such a lost art that it seems foreign to me. But the question marks are gonna, you know, the thing that'll hold this rotation together is what Rodon can do.
Yeah, definitely. Thankfully, he really can't get much worse with almost a 70 ERA. Uh,
But he can get worse because he could just not pitch again. So
yeah, well that'd be pretty bad for them. But that's the thing. I mean, the Yankees gave him this contract, and that's kind of what he's been doing his whole career. He had those 2 good years, right before free agency. So, but before that, he really never pitched a whole lot of games. Not the best ERAs before those, but you if he plays, he can't be much worse than last year. Stroman, I like that move a lot. He's been consistent his whole career. I think they don't have to worry too much with him unless he starts going crazy on social media and some of his past Yankee comments come up, but who knows? And if he does not perform, it is going to go very bad very quickly. Clark Schmidt, I like the kid. A lot of Yankee fans don't, but he's still got some time to prove it. They wanted Snell, they wanted Montgomery, so he didn't have to be in this rotation. Personally, if I'm building this Yankees rotation, I'm going Cole, Stroman, Rodon, Cortez, Schmidt. I like Cortez a lot. He's got the stuff. I think the pitch clock messed with him a little bit last year. And he's just got to stay healthy. So I think this rotation's solid, but it could very easily go bad very quickly for them.
And we'll quickly look at their bullpen. Clay Holmes, solid. Jonathan Loizaga, solid. Past that, a lot of new moving pieces within the bullpen. Caleb Ferguson's new, Victor Gonzalez, Cody Poteet. Tommy Canely and Lou Trevino and Scott Efros all came to the team within the past 2 years, and they're all out to start the season. So gonna piece it together. Maybe they have a few high level pitching prospects that might break into that bullpen at some point. Hopefully their starting pitching is enough to offset any question marks in the bullpen.
Yeah, they're gonna need their starting rotation to definitely pitch some innings. This is not a bad bullpen by any means, but if you tax them, it may turn bad. Clay Holmes, beautiful. I think he'll honestly even get better this year. Jonathan, he's you know what you're gonna get from him. He's a little hurt last year, but I think he'll be fine this year. I like the Ian Hamilton move. And like you said, I mean, one of my favorite Yankees over the past few years has been Tommy Kahnle. So hopefully he'll be back relatively quickly. And one thing we forgot to touch on, Jason Dominguez, he will be back at some point during this year.
We'll see
That
where he starts out, but
I mean, he
we'll
should
see.
probably come off the bench to start it, but he gets going, they're gonna have to find a spot for him in that lineup.
It's intriguing. That'll do it for this episode of the MLB preview show. Tune in next episode and we'll talk about the Toronto Blue Jays.